Good morning, everyone. Here's a staff briefing for the 12th of May and just an opportunity to reflect on a few of the changes and developments that have happened over the last few days. I'm sure you watched with interest the announcement on Sunday evening, and since then there have been a few changes that I think it's worth us being aware of as we look at planning the next phase of our school's life. I hope you're all well. I hope you're keeping safe. I hope you're keeping sane and connected with each other and your friends. And I just thought I'd reflect on a couple of things. You'll have seen that schools are being asked to consider how we could reopen for some face-to-face contact with our Year 10 students. And all I wanted you to know really at this stage is that we're planning how we can do that most effectively. We'll only do it in a way that we think will be safe for staff and for students. And obviously there's a huge amount of work to do in putting that together. There is some movement on and talk about Surrey schools planning this together. We haven't heard anything yet, but if we do, we'll obviously contribute to that and try and work in coordination with other schools so that what we offer fits in with the wider school population in Year 10. I think it's also worth noting, on the back of some of the change in the guidance at the weekend, is that if you do wish to come into school to do any work, can you please just check that it is work that is essential still. You shouldn't be coming into school unless you have to. And if you do, can you just check with your line manager and then let Julie Woodley know, because what she'll be doing is just coordinating to make sure that we don't have more staff on site one day and then very few the next, so that if we can plan across the week, then that would be much better. So please check with your line manager and let Julie and inform Julie so that she can say whether it's an appropriate day for you to come into school. However, the position is still that you should not come in. School remains closed. If you do take public transport to school and that's going to be a problem and there isn't an alternative, please let us know. That's through Becky or Andy and myself, particularly if you're providing support for the children from our key worker families or our vulnerable children. And on that, obviously it's likely that the uptake of those children will increase as primary schools get closer to reopening and staff are expecting to go back in and prepare and get ready for primary schools to reopen. So there may be some change there. Yesterday would have been our first GCSE exam for our Year 11s. So it's very sad that we're not able to do that. Instead, we're going for our centre assessed grades, and there is still some work to do with moderating and rationalising those so that they're in a good position to be sent off to the exam boards. But doesn't it mark a bit of a change that instead of having a hall full of our children sitting and recalling and being able to apply their learning to the exams, they're having to stay at home. But please keep setting work. Please keep with our Year 10s particularly, using different ways of interacting with the content, because obviously we're hoping to get those students into a place where you can see them face to face in the near future. And finally, the final point for me is that I hope you're keeping well. Do please set up, if you want to, Teams groups so that you can talk to each other and have some interaction with the teams that you work in, and keep using the chat and the social element of that wellbeing forum. I've had some emails from parents hugely impressed and enthused by the lockdown lip sync that went out last week. So thank you to everybody who was involved in that. I hope you're keeping well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.